It must be my birthday or something, because today I have gotten almost everything I have wanted. New Blackwing support, massive unlimits, more powerhouse limit ones, crazy ass generic synchro monsters. It's like Konami's official Ghost Eagle Day, tailor-made for all of my tastes. These updates are crazy, man, so let's start with the new mini box Stars of Synchro. I'm just gonna get it out of the way. Blackwings, baby! Kalute the Moon Shadow, my guy. Honestly, one of my favorite Blackwings, despite him never being in Duel Links. Long overdue, by the way. It's like the White Princess. Like, hello. During either player's damage step, when a Blackwing is attacking or being attacked, you can discard Kalute to increase that Blackwing's attack by 1400, and it lasts until the end phase. Archetypal hand trap that turns Raikiri into a one-shot. Can be used offensively or defensively. Will Blackwings run Kalute? It's hard to say, but with the new level 6 Synchro and Kalute being able to search Gale from Whirlwind on his normal summon, Kalute at 1 or 2 copies is looking hopeful to me. Gonna be a super rare in the box. Blackwing Nathung the Starlight. Level 6 generic Synchro. When he's special summoned, he inflicts 400 points of damage to your opponent, and then you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls and reduce its attack and defense by 800. It's a cute little cherry on top type effect, but Nathung also gives you another normal summon of a Blackwing, which if you have Whirlwind is also another search. I don't know if it'll see play. If he was level 7, more than likely, but the only way to go into him would be if Blackwings ran Kalute and synchroed with Gale, or started running Blizzard the far north. A lot would have to change for Nathung to be super impactful, but I'm grateful regardless. I look forward to working with you fellas. Dragon Ravine is pretty crazy. It's trying to disguise itself as just a Dragoonity support card, but it happens to be great Dragon support in general. Soft once per turn, you can discard a card to activate one of its 2 effects. Either add one level 4 or lower Dragoonity monster from your deck to your hand, and this is the kicker, send a Dragon type monster from your deck to the graveyard. No restrictions on that, no level, attribute, nothing. You can just send any dragon. So you could just send White Stone of Ancients and then special summon a Blue Eyes during your end phase as a light example of its potential. Plus, it being a field spell means it's searchable with cards like Planet Pathfinder, Demise of the Land, and Ancient Fairy Dragon. Obviously, it benefits Dragoonity the most, and alongside another super rare, Armagram, which can negate a monster effect, and Legatus, who can special summon himself and pop a back row. Dragoonities can maybe see some resurgence. I doubt meta play, but possibly rogue. Like I said, tailor-made for me, as if I wasn't happy enough. Infernity support happens to be in this box too. Infernity suppression is wild. Normal trap card, if you have no cards in your hand, you can use it the turn it was set. In other words, if you're running it in Infernities, you can activate this card the turn it was set. If your opponent activates a monster effect while you control an Infernity monster, you can negate the activation and inflict damage to your opponent equal to its level times 100. So the thing is, Infernity can use this going second and is capable of negating things like White Princess, as helping them in the OTK department, but also makes their already impressive turn 1 board that much more intimidating. Not to mention suppression, like every card in the archetype, is searchable because of Big Daddy Archfiend. Then there's also Zero Max, which is essentially another monster reborn for them, but technically isn't part of the archetype, so it's not searchable. It's a great card, I just don't see it taking priority over 3 Launcher, Mirage, and other things. I see Infernity decks running suppression at 1, maybe in place of Break and alongside Barrier, and with this buff, Infernity Doom Archfiend is also getting his main box release. I feel so loved, Konami. I feel so loved. And I know it's my special day when Konami can make me as excited for a card I have never seen before as a card that I've used for the past 12 years of my life, because Ravenous Crocodile Archetypus has got my name on it, and I'm pulling it before any of you. You understand? We can make it like Black Friday out here if y'all want, because you need to understand, I want this fish. Completely generic level 9, passively gains 500 attack and defense for every card in your hand. He has 2 effects with a hard once per turn shared between both of them. When it's synchro summoned, you can draw a card equal to the amount of non-tuners used for his synchro summon, or on a quick effect, you can discard 2 cards to pop a card on the field. Drawing cards on its summon, even if it is only 1 for my intended use of this card in Block Dragon, it's still amazing. And while the double discard is really hefty, it can be worth it for a quick effect pop, especially if you're trying to set up your graveyard with those cards. And some of the most badass artwork going, I'm just gonna say it. Look, he's kind of frail at 1000 attack. Even with his attack boost, he's likely never passing 2500, but he's not a substitute for Vermilion Dragon Mech, as he is his own beautiful fish that will destroy all of you. And boom, ice barriers for days, baby. Once considered the worst archetype in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh, it eventually got support to hand that title over to Gen X Ally. Now, I'm not super familiar with this archetype, but it seems they focus more on controlling your opponent by locking them out of game mechanics and resources. It's pretty cool, but the biggest thing that stands out to me is actually how affordable the deck is. And I don't know how consistently they can go into their crazy synchro monsters, but if they can, that's just another cherry on top, baby. Alright, poster boy time. Trishula, 0 Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Level 11 Water Dragon Synchro, requires 1 tuner and 2 or more non-tuners. When it's synchro summoned, you can banish up to 3 cards your opponent controls. This effect does not target. When it's destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon a regular Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier from your extra deck for free. Makes its attack 3300, and then it negates the effect and halves the attack of all monsters your opponent controls. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, we can't even use that effect because we don't have regular Trishula. And Sight Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, limited to 1 bundle deal, baby. Gotta be one of my favorite synchro monsters. Pretty much everything is the same except regular Trish is level 9, making the 2 material thing a little trickier. However, when Trish is synchro summoned, you can banish a card from your opponent's field, graveyard, and hand. This also does not target. Banishing 3 cards from the field is devastating, but DD Crow was seeing a shit ton of play despite being a 1-for-1 trade to get an opponent's card out of the graveyard. And Trish does this. And ripping from the hand, bro, like damn, like you know we're dealing with a front man if you're talking about that effect. And that's why he's arguably better. He can disrupt your opponent like crazy. Was banned in the TCG for a long time because its effects were not a hard once per turn and it could be recycled with desynchro. That's why Konami flexed their genius a little bit here, because it just so happens that desynchro is already limited to 1. So with Trishula being limited to 1, the 2 cards can never cross paths, like 2 forbidden passionate lovers kept apart by their family's wishes. Okay, I'm probably thinking too much about it. And with that being said, I really don't think Trish is going to be a problem. I think he's a fine addition to the game. That's going to do it for this video. I'm making one for the ban list too, but if you just want a quick take on my opinion, it's the best ban list I've ever seen personally. So look forward to that video. It'll drop tomorrow. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video.